To the U to the E, man. Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at? Had a nigga in the truck where the wood at. All the niggas acting up where the wolves at.
What's up, internet? Welcome back to the weekly vlog. Monday morning. 10 days. 10 days. I think 10 days until Star Wars Episode 7. The excitement is starting to build up in me. Hopefully it's not Episode 1 all over again. Let me know what you guys think about Star Wars. I've come across quite a few people in my day who just have never watched any of it. And to me, like, I was pretty much raised on Star Wars. Like, everybody in my family, at least the family that I hung out with a lot when I was a kid. My cousins, my mother loved it. I remember very specifically living at my old house in Plainville, being probably like 4 or 5, I think like 4 or 5, and not knowing how to read, and watching Return of the Jedi. My mom's in the kitchen cooking dinner or whatever, and Jabba the Hutt starts talking, and I was like, Mom, I can't read it, what's he saying, even though I've seen this movie at that point a few times. Like, it wasn't my first rodeo. I knew what he was saying, I knew what was going on, and even back then I was comprehending the story of Star Wars. So to say I was raised on Star Wars is definitely not an exaggeration. Even when Episode 1 came out, my mom at that time worked at KB Toy Works. And because she had the hookup and the discount, I had every single toy that they came out with for Episode 1. And that trend would have continued had they not switched up the toys for Attack of the Clones and the one that came after. But now we're back to Star Wars toys that look like Star Wars toys. They don't have, fucking Anakin Skywalker with a lightsaber built into his wrist. Like, that shit was some bullshit. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm a Star Wars fan. Picking up some blue cheese dressing for dinner tonight. Having 2 meals that involve buffalo chicken. I feel like I'll be paying for that tomorrow. A saunter across the road here. I wanted to talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys in the next clip, I guess, because it's going to be absolutely dark. But I have some Episode 7 predictions for you. We'll see how close to right I am. Alright guys, decided that I was going to talk about some Star Wars Episode 7 predictions. I think I'll just do it, like, character by character that we know of. And I don't really have any predictions for, what is it, the Second Imperium? What are they called? See, alright, here's the issue that I have with talking about this movie. Way back when I was young, I made my own Episode 7 script for, like, the first 2 scenes. And I think I came up with the Second Imperium, if I'm remembering correctly. That was something I had in mind. Movie. What are the Imperials called in this? I guess I'll just call them the Imperials, but what was it? Captain Phasma? No idea. I just assume he doesn't really have that much story to go with, but let's start with the big one, Kylo Ren. I feel like he is going to be a little bit of a Darth Maul of a character, where he just doesn't make it out of this movie. Which sucks, because I really like his design. I like the lightsaber design. Everybody was hating on it when it first debuted. But, like, the idea that it's a lightsaber that's made by someone that doesn't really, he wasn't properly trained. Like, he just kind of jury-rigged a lightsaber together, and that's why it's kind of supposedly going to be, like, shorting out on him. And not the best working lightsaber in the universe. I feel like he is going to end up killing somebody. And based on the trailers, I feel like Finn is also not going to make it out of the movie. And I feel like Finn is not the Jedi that they're trying to make the trailers look like he might be. If you know what I mean. Like, you see him pick up a lightsaber about to fight Kylo Ren, and I feel like he just picks up the lightsaber because he has the lightsaber there, not because he knows how to use it, or that he's force sensitive or anything. I feel like, wow, I can't remember the female's name right now. The girl in the trailer, I feel like she's force sensitive. I feel like she might secretly be Han Solo or probably Luke's daughter. As far as like Han Solo goes, I feel like he probably lives. I can't see them killing him. They do have a scene in one of the trailers where the female, which I can't believe I can't fucking remember her name. What the hell is her name? Anyway, she's like crying over someone that's in like a jacket of some sort, and people are saying that it looks like it's either Han Solo or Finn's jacket. I'm pretty sure it's Finn. He probably gets killed in that lightsaber battle with Kylo Ren. And I feel like they're gonna do kind of a, what is it, Deus Ex Machina thing where Luke Skywalker comes back at the end of the movie to save the day and finishes off Kylo Ren. I feel like Han Solo is kind of just like their taxi in this movie, as weird as that sounds. Like, because that's kind of what he was in A New Hope. Like, he just gets the characters from point A to point B, and then, you know, he's involved in the, you know, actual fights and stuff, but he's not like the lead character, you know. Who else is there? Leia? She's barely in any of the trailers, so I'm not really sure what capacity she's going to be in, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Next week on the weekly vlog, we will be talking about Star Wars Episode 7, because I'm going to see it by then. And I guess leave some predictions for me in the comments below. Oh, here's another thing I want to talk to you guys about that movie. I'm looking now, and I can't remember her name because they don't have last names. So it's Finn and Rey. On all merchandise and all information you have on Star Wars Episode 7 online, they don't have last names. They're, I believe, the only two characters in the movie that don't have last names. That makes it pretty obvious to me that they're probably the descendants of somebody important. So it could be like Rey Skywalker, Rey Solo. I mean, with Finn, it's like, why do you leave his last name off? Because who's he really going to be a descendant of, other than my boy, Lando Calrissian? Come on now. Finn Calrissian. I guess that's an okay name. But that's an interesting thing to talk about, how they don't have their last names on anything. So they're trying to keep that on lock for now. Trying to edit the Weekend Adventure video you saw right before this yesterday. And it's being a fucking bitch. Windows Movie Maker continues to be shitty. It's now doing this thing where it will... I got all the way to the part of the video where I'm doing the pickups, and it no longer lets me split the video at all. Whenever I split the video, nothing happens. It deletes something from the video gets shorter, and if I try and use the split button again after that, it takes away literally like 20 minutes of the video. Like, you're just gone. So I'm now trying to open up a separate tab, edit the pickups portion on its own, and then insert that at the end of the rest of the video. But I have a very finite amount of time to do this morning, and I've literally spent the last 45 minutes dicking around with trying to fix this. Alright, so we're here cubing some cheese, cutting the cheese as you will. And the theme for this episode has been talking about Star Wars Episode 7. Hey, you're gonna go see that movie with me.
Oh, no, you're not.
What do you think about it? You don't need to have it on you.
Well, then don't do
That's
that.
a
You can hide it.
It's not hidden. It's not hidden. It wasn't hidden. And that's just what
I'm
it
in
was.
this kitchen with you.
Oh, but I'm really fat, so I'm eclipsing it. So, like I said, we're cutting cheese. What are your thoughts on this movie that we're gonna go see? What? You have no thoughts on it?
No, it's Star Wars.
I know. That means it's gonna be great.
Oh, you. Peyton, I'm gonna kill him. You're not putting this in anything.
So I just beat Yokai Watch. I'd say stay tuned for a review coming up in like maybe a few weeks. This was a fun game. Hey guys, just watching Fluffy Gamer's Quick Fix here, and it reminds me of something stupid from my childhood. Way back in the day, I grew up on both Star Wars and Star Trek. Like, I was never, you know, like how Trekkies would hate people that like Star Wars or Star Wars films and vice versa. I was never like that. I enjoyed both equally. My mom constantly watched Star Trek The Next Generation. And one argument I remember having with one of my friends when I was young, was whether or not LeVar Burton, the guy that plays Geordie LaForge, could be the same guy from Reading Rainbow. And I remember telling them that it couldn't be the same guy because LeVar Burton is obviously blind. Yeah, because for some reason you needed to actually be blind if you play a blind man on TV. You guys ever fucking come up with something stupid like that when you were a kid? Like, just illogic that you're trying to make logical? I don't know. It just reminded me of that. I wanted to mention it. So, a few days ago, I made the impulsive decision to buy Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 4. Even though I have it on the PS1, it's $10. I'm not 100% motivated that I'm gonna, or 100% convinced I'm actually gonna play through the whole game, realistically. But I was feeling nostalgic seeing the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. So, I don't know. I'm probably not going to get too far into this, but it's what I'm playing right now after Yokai Watch. So, we'll see. Alright, so here's one thing I never noticed back in the day when I was playing the game as a kid. That's some really bad misrepresentation of size. That church is a lot bigger than that. That church is currently smaller than my house, based on how they are on top of it. What the hell? Alright, so they just debuted the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. And I gotta say, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. The last Turtle movie they came out with was okay. It was a little bit too Megan Fox centric, but Megan Fox was barely in this trailer. Hopefully she's barely in the movie. I don't know. but Bebop and Rocksteady look fucking amazing. Very glad they went with, like, the original look and not something else, where they're just like, oh, let's do something completely different, you know? Like, they could have gone a terrible way with it, and instead they went a really good way. Like, they could have gone the way that they did with the new cartoon. Like, I have never seen the episodes with them in it, but I've seen the action figures on store shelves, and they look stupid in that. Luckily, they went with the old way.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Alright guys, Friday, heading into work. Gotta get home and edit this video, so let's end out this video with a question for you. A few questions actually, in the comment section below. Number one, since we've talked a lot about Star Wars today, or this week I guess, are you hyped for the movie? Like, what's your Star Wars hype status right now? Are you like, you can't wait? Do you not care? Let me know some of your predictions in the comments below. And another thing, since I finished Yokai, well, I say finished Yokai Watch, but I beat the story. But this game apparently continues on with a lot of post-game material, which is really cool, so I've been playing through some of that. But I am kind of in the market for the next game I should be playing. I did download Final Fantasy VII. I'm playing a little bit of that on the PlayStation 4 to get some achievements and to, you know, re-experience the game that changed my life quite a bit, to be honest. But it's one of those things where I remember it so vividly for the most part that none of it is like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like, I love the game, but going back to it is kind of hard because there's a lot of parts in it where it's just like, oh fuck, I gotta do this now. Like, for instance, like when I get to Don Conero or whatever his name is, am I really gonna want to go through all the like side quests or whatever to get the best stuff, to get an achievement or something, to be selected by him? Like, when I could just be like, alright, fuck it, let's run it. Like, because the story doesn't change either way, you know? But anyway, also kind of leaning away from Final Fantasy VII because I would love to find a game, if it's going to be on a console, that Alicia wouldn't mind watching me play, or if there's a multiplayer game we can play together. But Final Fantasy VII is one of those where if you didn't grow up with it, the graphics on it, just like all the N64 games and like PlayStation 1 game era that we were trying to do polygons and shit, like, it really didn't age well. So it's kind of hard to be like, this is like the most influential game of my life, but it looks like hot garbage right now. You know? So handhelds, definite possibility. I have a lot of RPGs on DS and 3DS and possibly the Vita? I don't know. Basically looking for something that I could play through in about 20 to 30 hours, preferably. So if you have any suggestions, especially if you're familiar with my collections, you can go watch my collection videos. They haven't changed much since I posted them. Give you a pretty good idea of what I already have. So like the video, comment below with all the questions I asked. We ought to be a fuck ton of them by the time I'm done with this video. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, keep it real, Internet.